head. Is it open? So there's a block there. Hormonal is not open either. And lymphatic is open. So that fits with the earlier readings as well. Okay, so let's get into the actual active balancing part now. So we're going to go to the protocol, and I've moved my camera now. I was going to put the camera to face the board. Let's see if we can do that. Can you see the writing on this board on the second camera? So it's got the ACMOS system there, the system of information. The body builds and repairs itself based on that information. It is about the speed that the body works at, the charge that's held in the body, and how actively it moves around. So if we change the speed that the yin and the yang energy are moving, that we can change the speed that the body is operating at. And then in the quantum version of ACMOS, information is the wave. We build our body according to that information, which becomes our particle body or our cellular body. So putting the protocol on there. If you're familiar with the protocol, you'll recognize it. If you're not, then it'll be a bit difficult to see. But what I want you to see today is the process. It doesn't matter really what it says in the boxes, because you will become very familiar with that. But we have 5 options at the top that lead us into the other sections of the process. So are we ready? Asking over the mass and over Tanuja's name. Are we ready to move to the protocol? And so we're going to go is ACMOS dominant, pathos, organic pathos. So you can see the dip there in the third selection. It says here, go to page 3, find the organ or region which needs to be balanced. So we move across through the pages to page 3. And here at the bottom of page 3, we have the organic pathos protocol, the part that will help us to identify the different parts. And so we're going to go over the top line, the second line. So the second line really is made up of the hormonal system and glands. So we're going to balance the hypothalamus, the pituitary gland. So the master gland of the hormonal system requiring balancing. So I'm going to write on my form, the dominant harmonization is organic pathos. And then we will identify that region as the pituitary gland. And then we're going to ask, do we need to check the drivers for the pituitary? So you have now become your pituitary gland. You're acting as a surrogate for that. So I'm going to just pop pituitary gland onto a piece of tape and put it under the mass with your name. So let's just do that again. So we have the tape now with the pituitary gland as well as your name under the mass. And I'm writing things down as I go, because after a balancing session, you won't remember. So we know we have the pituitary gland. We're going to redo the 3 drivers for the pituitary. So we've got the 12, first of all. Now, instead of measuring for you as a whole, we're measuring for your pituitary gland. So 12 is on. The 8 is also on. But the 1 is blocked. So 8 is on, 12 is on, 1.1 is off. So that's just information at the moment. We're going to go back to our chart here. And we're going to see that it says, find the organ or region. So we've done that. Look for symmetry of the 15.3 at the head. So an invitation in to the system. So off to the left, off to the right, centimeters, meters, not 10, 10 to 20, 20 to 30. So there's a movement off to the side, a displacement in the energy for the pituitary gland itself. And we've already looked at the drivers. It asks then, may you impose? Now, this is an older version of the protocol. I don't think we actually have that on there anymore, but you can ask if you can impose a driver for an organic pathos. Imposing a driver, though, is a relatively superficial way to balance. So we end up with the driver maybe opens for a short time and then may go off again. And we found that with one of your cases before, didn't we, where they weren't able to hold that change. So it's better to work at a deeper level. So we're going to ask now on 17.6 whether we need a harmony. So there's a yes to harmony. Let's turn this around so you can see my antenna moving again. So we need a harmony. And do we need a stimulation? So we have a yes to harmony and stimulation, because we're now balancing your pituitary gland as if we were just balancing a person, or we're balancing it in its own right. So we give it all the same options. So we're going to use the harmony first, stimulation first. So we're going to use some points first. So we're going to use stimulation protocol, and we go back to our form. It's on the same page. I'm afraid I can't zoom that in anymore. And the light is also not great. But you can see that there are boxes here that I'm going to check through to find which stimulation points you would like to use. So you're still connected to your name. And we're going to ask, do we need a marvelous vessel? Major points, conception vessel points, CV4, 5, 6. And do we also need one of the minus points, CV 12, 15, 17? So we have conception vessel 6 on a plus, conception vessel 17 on a minus. So we're creating a potential difference to improve the energy flow. CV6 is below the navel. CV17 is in the chest region, so we're going to improve the flow of energy through the solar plexus area, which was the area that was blocked in the physical level. So we're going to do this. Two choices. You have the light pen or the antenna. Or if the person is with you and it's a peripheral point, then they can stimulate the points themselves, even when you're working at distance, if you're working on Zoom. But if you are working at distance without the person, or if it's a central point, then you do it with the antenna, with the light pen. So we're going to use the light pen to open these points. And what I would like you to do, Tanuja, is I would like you to put your right hand on your hara so that the edge of your hand is on your navel. And then the center of your palm should end up just above that point. You're not stimulating it, you're just giving me a target. And then your other hand, your left hand, are you right or left-handed before I do too much? Right, okay, so your left hand over your heart energy center, heart chakra. And that just gives me a bit of a target. And then we're going to do 12 on the antenna. I still use the light pen, but I like to be very clear with my intention of what we're doing. So I set my antenna on 12. Let's see if I can let you see what I'm doing. I've got the antenna set on 12, the base pointing towards the mass. And then I've got the red light. And I'm going to make anti-clockwise circles, 3 sets of 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so we've got the lower point, and I'll often sit with my hand on the point on myself as well. Now these points don't have bilateral because they're central points. So we're going to change the antenna setting now to 8. And we're going to spiral inwards this time. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay. So is that all for the conception vessel point? So we just recheck to make sure that we've cleared that box, and then we go back to the book and we keep scanning through the boxes until we finish the whole protocol. And this is a really important point. When you open a protocol and you start working your way through it, you must complete it. So we finished with the conception vessel points. Is there a hormonal point for today? Any autonomic nervous system points, blood system points, elimination points, mother and son issue, specific points from the table of points, shoe points, moo points. So we have the moo points listed on the protocol, which makes it very easy. So we've got 1 lung, 25 stomach. So 25 stomach is to the side of the tummy button. We've got the abdominal muscles. Can't see my 6-pack here. It's hiding there somewhere. But if you put your fingers in your tummy button and you come out over the side of the strap muscles, and the point is just in there. So if you could put your hands either side, that's perfect. Okay. And we will do that on a plus, on a minus. So I'll set my antenna on 8, point the base at the mass, my hand on my belly as well. So we're really clear our intention. We're going to open stomach 25, which is the moo point of the large intestine meridian. So green light and circling 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Let's bring you back here. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I'm focusing on the left side at the moment. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then focusing on the right side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now, as always, there's more than one way to do points. You can do the points on the energy chart, which is this beautiful ACMOS poster. So you can stimulate the points on the chart as well. But because Tanuja is with me today and has got her hands over the points, then I'm happy to do it just at distance from here. Okay, so we go back to, back to the book. So we've got as far as this box, box number 10. Is that all for moo points? So number 11, is there any central points for today? 20 governor vessel, residual pathos, or specific pathos points. So we've got no symptomatic points. We've got no need to assist in the clearance because we've done so much work that we've created a backlog in your system. So we're now finished with the stimulation protocol for this issue. So then we're going to go back. We haven't finished with the organic pathos protocol. We've done half of it. We've done the stimulation part, but we still need to find a harmony. So in order to find a harmony, we go to page 1, where we have the harmonies listed. And we ask if we need an essential oil, a mineral, an ACMOS shell. So ACMOS shell is a remedy which balances the brain in the way that it balances and organizes the liver. So there's a command point for the liver and it's on the head, and we use the ACMOS shell to switch on that command point in order to make the liver more efficient at keeping the blood running clean. So there we had, and this is what I meant about writing things down. So we had stimulation first, and the points that we used were CV6 on a plus, CV17 on a minus, and stomach 25 on a minus, which was a moo point. So I'll put that information on there as well. And then we have a harmony. The harmony that we're going to use is ACMOS shell. So ACMOS shell I have in my kit, and there's only one, so we'll just grab the ACMOS shell. can see the kit here. So Michelle is up on the top shelf for me, and we take it back to the form. And the only reason why this looks so complicated is because we're filming it. If you've got everything on your desk working there for you, then it's much easier to do and stay in the flow. So Michelle, I'm going to put that into the mass, and I'm going to ask what we're going to do with it. If we look at the protocol again, you can see below the harmonies, it says method of application and then aquodynamization point. So the method of application is this multicolored line. And then if we're going to aquodynamize, the application point is down below it. So we're going to ask if we're going to aquodynamize. We are. And the head, the response in the first box there, so it then subdivides down through the acupuncture points, yin tang, forehead. So we're actually going to use this in the forehead area. It's more commonly used a bit further back on the head, but for you, some of the distortion of symmetry and the loss of the direct root has caused that point to be more accessible in this area. And we're going to use it in the center. How many pills do we need? 1 pill. Okay. So we're still balancing your pituitary gland. So we're going to speak through the forehead point with the Michelle remedy, the blood cleansing, one of the 2 blood cleansing remedies.